Okay, fans of the tennis star Novak Djokovic celebrating after an Australian judge reversed the government's decision to cancel his visa over his vaccination status. He is not vaxxed. The move paves the way for the 20-time Grand Slam champ to defend his title in Australia. The Open begins there next week. I want to bring in Clay Travis, founder of Outkick.com. And Clay, good morning to you. So Djokovic has fought the law, and so far he's won, right?
Bill, thanks for having me. Yeah, that's the story. I mean, Djokovic has now posted a photo of himself practicing on Rod Laver Arena, the tennis court there in the Australian Open, where he's going to go and try to defend his Australian Open title. Remember, he won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams last year. And he is unvaccinated, much like Aaron Rodgers, maybe the best NFL player unvaccinated and the best tennis player in the world unvaccinated. After he had been granted an exemption, however, Bill, and this is a crazy story, he showed up in Australia. It had become a political landmine, and so they effectively locked him in his hotel room as the court proceedings played out, and he's won this battle from an Australian judge. It would seem to be hard to not allow him to play now that he is out and about circulating in Australia on the courts and everywhere else, but given how crazy everything connected to COVID is, until he actually steps onto the court to play in his first match at the Australian Open, Bill, I'll reserve judgment as to what they might do. Remember when we thought our Australian friends were really nice and cuddly and easygoing? If you look at their COVID policies, they've been so insanely draconian.
Very tough.
We are very, very lucky in the United States that we had federalism and state governors who were willing to stand up to the overreach of the government, because otherwise we might look like Australia.
I agree with you on your point. Until he takes the court, we really don't know how this is going to turn out. We'll see how that happens beginning next week. Now, Lia Thomas is a transgender athlete. She swims for the University of Pennsylvania. You and I have talked about this many times. Over the weekend, she was swimming against another transgender athlete and lost in the 100-meter and the 400-meter swim. One of the parents for UPenn gave a quote to Fox Digital. It says this: "It starts with the NCAA. I think the NCAA needs to change its policies and find a way to include transgender women without trampling all over biological women." I don't know how this ends, but that sounds like a pretty good resolution if you find the way soon.
One of the women on the Penn swimming team talked to Outkick and said that she hoped when she eventually had children that she would have boys, because if she had daughters, she questioned whether women's sports were still going to exist. Because as she pointed out, right now there's one transgender swimmer on Penn's team, but if they had 3 or 4, those are 3 or 4 spots not going to biological women. And right now, that seems to be where we might be headed. Now, this race that took place, the 100-meter that Lia Thomas lost, Lia lost to a biological woman who now wants to be a man and is in the process of beginning that transition to become a man. So women's sports right now are an unbelievable mess. And Bill, this is what I believe we talked about, you, me, and Dana, most recently when I was on to discuss this. Where are the feminists? Where are the Title IX supporters? Where are the people who believe that women's athletics are important and deserve to be preserved? And by the way, where are the sports media? Do you know how many stories ESPN, Bill, has done on this entire Penn swimming controversy? 0. They haven't even covered it. They're just pretending it doesn't exist, because it creates all sorts of difficult questions that left-wing sports media members do not want to have to address or examine. This issue isn't going away, and it's only going to become more and more common as more men transition to women and begin to compete in these sports.
Again, it comes back to the girls who are also on that team. What about them? And so many of them have been forgotten during this debate here. Last comment on that, Clay.
Well, I mean, look, these girls who are high-level swimmers in college started swimming when they're 4, 5, and 6 years old, early morning, pre-dawn swims in order to achieve the excellence that they have. And you're going to allow a biological man who spent 3 years swimming with the Penn men's team to suddenly flip over and potentially set all-time records for women's athletics. It's beyond absurd. It feels like a South Park episode we're all living in right now.
And the glory is gone. Thank you, Clay. Nice to see you on a Monday. We'll talk later in the week.
Hey,
Clay Travis.
Appreciate it.